If you're a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, then you likely already know that the show has a lot of East Asian influences. The walls around Ba Sing Se, for example, are inspired by the Great Wall of China. The aesthetic and the philosophy of the air nomads are inspired by Buddhist Tibetan monks. But today, I'm going to talk about something in particular, the show's use of the Japanese language. In case you don't know, I studied Japanese at university, so it was fun to see Japanese words pop up as I watched the show. The first one that I remember popped up in the third episode. Momo the flying lemur is a favorite Avatar animal. He's cute, he can fly, what's not to like? Aang finds him in the Southern Air Temple, in the same episode in which he has the sad realization that he really is the last Airbender. If you don't know Japanese though, the scene when Aang names him probably won't make much sense to you.
What are you gonna name him? Momo.
Here, Momo steals a peach from Sokka, and the Japanese word for peach is
Momo.
So this is a little inside joke between the show's creators and speakers of Japanese. This next name actually doesn't appear in the show itself, though the character who bears it is referenced. Avatar Kuruk, the Water Tribe avatar immediately before Kyoshi, had a wife that Ko the Face Stealer took from him.
One of your previous incarnations tried to slay me, maybe 800 or 900 years ago.
Oh, it was something about stealing the face of someone you loved.
From him. Her name was Umi. She is a unique Water Tribe character in that her name doesn't have a K and she has brown eyes instead of blue.
Umi.
It's the Japanese word for sea though, so it is a fitting name for a Water Tribe woman. Kyoshi Island is home to the Kyoshi Warriors, a group of fighters inspired by Avatar Kyoshi, and whose fighting style is modeled after her. It's also got a giant sea serpent surrounding it. The Unagi nearly kills Aang twice in one episode. It's a shame it didn't get featured more in the show honestly, because it's a fascinating beast. In Japanese,
Unagi
means eel. That does make sense since it is very eel-like. The Agni Kai or fire duel between Zuko and Azula at the end of the show is my favorite fight of the entire series. It's animated beautifully and, because of the relationship between the characters, is far more emotional than the fight between Aang and Ozai. But we're here to talk about Japanese in Avatar. The name Agni Kai is divided into two parts.
Agni.
A Sanskrit word for fire, which is also the name of the Hindu fire god, and
Kai.
a Japanese word which means meeting. So Agni Kai means fire meeting. As a bonus, I noticed that M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender calls it an Agni Ki duel, rather than an Agni Kai.
Then Prince Zuko was sentenced to an Agni Ki duel. But when he showed up, it was his father he was to fight.
That's right.
He would not fight his father.
I have a little theory about that. Maybe Shyamalan never actually saw the term Agni Kai written down and thought it should be spelled K-I rather than K-A-I. I mean, the show did Americanize a lot of the Asian names. I can't think of any other reason for him to change the pronunciation. He probably thought that he was giving it the original Sanskrit pronunciation, even though it's actually Japanese. Hey, it's basically a rite of passage for YouTubers who are fans of Avatar to make fun of Shyamalan's movie. Allow me this one tiny jab at it. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you know of any other examples of Japanese words that pop up in Avatar, let me know. I've been Ken Kwame, and I'll see you next time.